What's up, YouTube? So today's topic, I'm gonna talk about a thing I had in my mind that I feel like I need to make a video about. So one of the reasons why I don't like a lot of people, I don't take time to meet people and to build connections, and the reason why I don't respect a lot of people and that I don't even trust people to be in my circle. I don't have a circle, like I don't have any, like, to be honest with you, I'm be real honest, like I have no friends, like I have no friends. I don't even have family to rely on. Like I got no one that actually has my back. um and I'm very like my like I have no one in my circle. I know people and people know me. I have acquaintances, but when it comes to deep connections and deep friendships, no, I don't have that. And there's a lot of reasons why. Honestly, that's one of the main reasons why I have a feeling that I am going to be extremely famous in this lifetime, and that either that or I'm gonna be very well known, or just something. I just feel like I could be wrong, um I could be delusional, but I just have a feeling, and it makes sense based on my life path and the things I've experienced, with people and just unexplainable life situations. But I do personally, I wouldn't be surprised if in this lifetime, like am meant to be very well known, and regardless in whatever I do, I just feel like I have a feeling that God or the universe, they're gonna put me in a situation to where I'm gonna be very well known in some way. But anyways, but yeah, but honestly, like I have no one in my circle. Like I don't really trust anyone like that. I don't fuck with people like that. Like no one. I'm a cool person. I'm not mean. I'm very friendly. I'm very nice. I'm a very giving person. I care about people, but usually people always end up leaving my life. They don't stay in my life long term. It's only temporary, and it's not like a deep connection or anything like that. It's very temporary, and I have a lot of acquaintances. Like a lot of people know my name. A lot of people know me. I'm cool with a lot of people. Like I don't have beef with anyone or anything like that. Like I don't have bad blood with anyone, but at the same time, I'm not close to anyone as well too. I don't even get along with my family. Like I cut all them off. I don't even speak to them, for like 4 years. And even before that, like I would never, I never felt like I fit in with them, and I never got along with them. And I think, and for most people, that probably sounds crazy because I feel like most people they can kind of relate to me, but I feel like people really haven't really experienced what I've experienced. People really haven't experienced, their whole family betraying them and turning their backs on them, and fighting them and hating them. People really haven't experienced like people that are actually there that have their back on them. I do have people that love me and care about me, but it always ends up in them having like a certain type of like an agenda where they're trying to use me, or like they're trying to want me in some way. I have a lot of stories that I'm not going to share, that's very like private, but it's very disturbing, honestly. So yeah, so I always told myself, always wondered why, I always ask God in the I always ask God and the universe and my higher self, like, hey, how come I'm not like, how come I don't have close connection to my circle? I'm not a bad person. I don't have ill intentions. I'm not narcissistic. What's going on? And I have a lot of like spirit. Like I have a lot to offer. I'm very giving. I'm very open minded. I'm very like self aware, and I do a lot of healing work, and I'm very versatile, meaning like I love to go out. I also love to work out. I love to play video games. I used to be a gamer. I play sports growing up. Um, I have hobbies, and I love to party, but I also love to stay home and study. So I have a lot of traits that a lot of people would like to have in their circle, and I'm very understanding. I'm very empathetic as well, and I'm not fucking selfish either. So people would love to have those types of people in their circle, but I feel like they can't really maintain them because they don't do the healing work themselves, or they just don't feel comfortable with that because they never experienced someone like me before, you know. And I know I kind of sound arrogant and all that, but I really don't give a fuck because it's my video. Um, but 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 like I said, I have a Scorpio stellium. I think I am a Virgo stellium as well. So I have a lot of Virgo and Scorpio placements. So I'm a Scorpio rising, Mars, and Moon, and I'm a Virgo Sun and Mercury. So like, someone told me that people with a lot of Scorpio placements, they tend to trigger a lot of people easily, and it makes sense. Well, first it was shocking, but it made a lot of sense, honestly. I feel like when someone said that, when a Scorpio comes into your life, or people with heavy Scorpio placements, you pretty much meant to like have a rebirth or look at your shadow side and the things that trigger you. And it makes sense, and that's one of the reasons why I feel like a lot of people tend to like attack me, or they'll eventually go against me, or they'll betray me in some way, or they'll backstab me, or they'll project their shit onto me, or I'll make them uncomfortable. It makes sense. Does make sense because I have a lot of Scorpio placements, and I noticed that I'll be cool with someone, but then they'll do some weird shit where like they'll switch up, they'll act different, or like they'll just run away from me, you know. And it's not me. Like, I'm aware of my worth. Like, I am aware of my worth. We all have flaws and shit like that. I'm aware of that. I'm not saying I don't have any, but at the same time I am saying that I am aware of my worth, um because I have self-awareness. um but I do see patterns like that, and even my own family, they'll go against me, they'll betray me, and they want nothing to do with me. And I understand it's not personal, but just because it's not personal, it doesn't mean it's hurtful and painful, and it doesn't mean these people, just because it's not personal, because everything is spiritual, everything happens for a spiritual reason. A lot of people aren't healed, a lot of people are very damaged, a lot of people are very traumatized because of this world we're living in. And also, a lot of people aren't willing to do the healing work, or they're not willing to face themselves and to grow and evolve, whether it be physically, spiritually, etc. And because of that, if you're the type of person where if you're doing the healing work a lot, or if you're not even, yes, that too, but if you just have like a certain calling in life, I feel like, or like if you're meant to do great things, I feel like God or people can really sense that, and they don't want nothing to do with you in a way. Um, you just have like a powerful energy. I feel like, I personally do feel like it could be an anointing in some way. Um, because as I'm getting older, it used to really bother me a lot. I used to like question, be confused, because I'm not even fucking doing anything, but people have done some foul shit with me. You know, people have stolen money from me. People have turned their backs against me, even close ones, loved ones. People, even with romantic connections, were like, we were solid. Like we were good, and, you know. But then, for some reason, the females I was in connections with, for some reason, they just decided to go ghost, and want nothing to do with me. And when I studied a lot of spirituality, when I'd done a lot of self reflection and tried to look for answers, I realized the reason why they're doing that is because they're not willing to do the healing work. So if you're the type of person where, like, let's say you're meant to break generational curses, or you're meant to do the healing work, unfortunately, you're not gonna have a lot of people in your circle, because a lot of people aren't willing to go to that path. Um, and it all reverts back down to your life mission and your life purpose. So, for example, and I've actually learned about this, I've studied this shit. So apparently, if you're like, let's say for example, you're the black sheep of your family, right? And you're meant to break generational curses, right? Your family, obviously, they're gonna attack you, they're gonna go against you because you're going against the norm, you're going against their belief systems of toxicity and narcissism, right? So once you break that cycle, they're gonna attack you, but life is also going to hit you a lot of roadblocks and challenges. So not only your family's fucking you up, but life's also fucking you up as well too. And you have no choice but to go up, because you're constant rock bottom. People don't change unless they're in rock bottom. And I didn't make this up. I got this from someone. Shout out to New My Frame. New My Frame talked about this on her YouTube video about being a black sheep of the family and the purpose of it. Pretty much, you're pretty much meant to heal generational curses. And but because of that, your families are going to go against you. But if you also have bad habits yourself, then you're pretty much doing a disservice for yourself. So this is why life seems a lot harder. So you have no choice but to do the healing work. You have no choice but to evolve and grow and become a better version of yourself, even though it seems unfair. But the reason why most people won't change is because their toxic traits, the things that are the bad habits they have, they're not it's not affecting their life pretty much. That's why they're able to get away with being narcissistic, doing a lot of foul shit to people, and just not growing and evolving as a person because it's not affecting them. In the long run, it will. Spiritually, it will. But in this lifetime, as far as the human experience, it probably won't affect them in this lifetime. So when New Mind Frame talked about about topics like that, it makes a lot of sense. So I feel like that's probably one of the reasons why it's really hard for me to find my soul tribe and to find like-minded people, to find people who are in my circle. I feel like so everything is spiritual. I feel like if someone comes into your life as a friend or as a romantic connection, it's because, in my opinion, it was orchestrated by a higher power because everything is spiritual. I could look back in my romantic connections, and even I could observe other people's romantic connections, even friendships. Um, how they first met, and how it played out. It seemed like it was spiritual and how it was orchestrated pretty much. So everything is spiritual. So because of that, I feel like if you're also isolated a lot, it's because God is purposely isolating you. There could be so many reasons why. I don't want to sound new agey because I know there's a lot of content out there that people like to talk and shit, and a lot of people, they have a very weird, sketchy way of like explaining things because either they haven't experienced it, they don't know what they're talking about, or they're copying off of someone else's videos, or they're delusional. But this is what I'm trying to watch what I say. Now, I'm not trying to sound new agey, but basically, when you're isolated a lot, when you're away from, if you're not around like-minded people, or you can't attract friends or like a romantic partner, I personally believe it's because of your life purpose, because you are meant for greater things. Usually people who are isolated like that, people get attacked a lot. They have a lot of talents, they have a lot of gifts, they're very self-aware, they have a lot of potential, and like that. So I don't know if it's like God's protection, or the or God is trying to like make you stronger by being alone, or God is trying to make you alone so you can have a closer connection towards God and a higher power. So all the things I mentioned, I feel like all those things are true, but it may be different from certain for some people. I don't know. I really don't know, but that's my personal opinion, is God's protection. I'm trying to get closer to God, and what else? And so you become like a stronger person, so you can know about yourself and learn more about yourself, and to increase your skill set, and to figure out what you came down here to do pretty much. um so I've done a lot of soul searching. I've done a lot of self-reflecting. It's not easy though. It's no one likes to be alone. It's not normal to be alone. It's not normal to be around non-like-minded people. We all want connections, romantic connections, friendships. We all want that as human beings, but sometimes, unfortunately, at least in this human experience, God or the universe, they're not going to let you experience those things because of your life mission, pretty much, or your life path. It could be throughout your whole life, or temporary, or half of your life, pretty much. Um, but it used to bother me a lot. But as I'm getting older, it doesn't really affect me as much. I still get confused. I get disappointed and let down a lot, and I feel like it's not fair. But what I can say is that it's definitely made me stronger. It forced me to become my own best friend. It forced me to have. I feel like I am mentally stronger than the average person because of the things I've been through, and I have a lot of like awareness and experience, and a lot of strength as well too. Um, and I feel like I do have a close connection with God or the higher power, even though I hate God and the higher power because of what God has put me through. I have every right to be pissed at what God has put me through, um, based on my experiences and shit. But without a doubt, I can say though that I do feel close to God in a way, because the fact that I just been through a lot of life situations that didn't went in my favor. Like, I'm not supposed to have my own apartment. I'm not supposed to have my own car. I'm not supposed to have a fucking job. I'm not supposed to be making money like that. I'm not even supposed to. I feel like I'm not even supposed to be here. Honestly, there's so many times where like I couldn't got in jail. I could have got to car accidents. So many times where like I could have really messed up my whole life by certain decisions I made, not purposely, but by accidents, stuff like that. And in other situations like family abuse, family trying to like harm me in some way, kick me out the house, um, and just a lot of other things that I'm not gonna mention, but a lot of things to where I've experienced to where life didn't really favor me in a way, but I'm still here, you know. I'm doing good. I'm at peace and stuff like that. Obviously, I'm still doing healing work. I'm still grieving a lot. I'm still releasing a lot of anger, a lot of trauma. Um, I'm still have a lot of flaws I need to work on, but and that's normal because every human being has to go through that. But basically, I'm still doing the healing work. But there are times where like I just sit back and clear my mind and to realize that, you know, I have a lot of gratitude from the amount of work I put in, but also possibly a higher power or what God or the universe, how much they protected me in a way for me to even be put in a situation in life to where I'm able to take care of myself pretty much and to get away from a lot of pain and bullshit. Me getting away from my dysfunctional family is, I'll never take that for granted because it did a number on my mental health, and it was extremely fucking painful that I don't wish it on anybody, you know. And apparently it's because I'm meant to break generational curses, you know. Like, it makes sense. Like, my family very like narcissistic, very physically and emotionally crazy, you know. So it caused a lot of problems to where I needed to get away from them, to where I don't even talk to them. And I'm not bothered by it. I'm really not. But I know I mention a lot in my videos, but it's not because I'm bothered by it. I'm not bothered by it. I'm just using it as an example to tell you guys about my life experience so I can spread some type of inspiration, you know. But yeah, it was very traumatic. But I'm glad I'm away from them, you know, and I'm at peace. And unfortunately, I am still losing people in my circle. Like, I experienced a breakup recently with someone that I gave my all to, that I thought we were like, me and her were solid, like me and her were good, but because of her ability to not communicate and to not take accountability and to not do the healing work, the connection ended. And you know, it's just another person that I have to grieve and cry because I lost another person that I thought we were going to be good. But you know, everything happens for a reason. So if God doesn't want this person in my life, then that's God's business pretty much, and hopefully someone better will come into my life, you know. But yeah, so when it comes to isolation, when it comes to feeling outcasted and stuff like that, I could definitely make a lot of videos about it because I've experienced it, and I've also experienced life not being in my favor, but I managed to overcome it and to fight through and to overcome obstacles pretty much. I have a lot of experience with that, so I'll definitely make videos about that. But yeah, but that's the things I do question. Like, I don't really like a lot of people. I really don't. I'm not mean. I'm not like that. I'm not standoffish. But it's hard. I can't find the right words. Like, people, how I view people as very conditional, meaning like when they like human beings are very conditional. If you're not satisfying them in some way, they could easily turn on you, or they're gonna look at you as a certain way, or they're gonna not respect you certain because you're not like making them happy. And Chauncey one, he talked about this on his videos actually. I forgot the exact words he said, but he made a good point that I forgot the words, but Chauncey one, he made a video where like you can't like I forgot the words he said, but basically what he was saying is that human beings are very conditional, and that if you're not making them happy in some way, then they're gonna turn on you, or they're gonna view you a certain way because based on their trauma, based on their programming and their upbringing, they think you're supposed to act a certain way, but when you don't, that's gonna let them down, and because of that, they're not gonna like you, or they don't want to be around you, or they're gonna turn on you or act weird towards you. That's pretty much what Chanson was trying to say, and that makes a lot of sense. That's how I view people. Like, people are like that because I've experienced that shit with a lot of people, and I've observed it as well. And I just don't feel comfortable with people. I have God really put me through a lot of situations that I haven't mentioned in my channel, but I've been through a lot of situations where people have done a lot of weird shit to me growing up, and even till now, a lot of weird, crazy shit. Very questionable shit. So I don't know if it's spiritual warfare or I don't know what it is, to be honest. I really don't know, but it's all good though, because I feel like if you're constantly isolated, it's kind of is a good thing, not by choice, but like it just seems like wherever you're experiencing life seems to isolate you from people. I do believe it's because God or the universe, they want to spend time with you. Like, I know it sounds cheesy or like kind of corny or like kind of new agey, but I genuinely do believe that, because when you're the more isolated you are, that's out of your control. I feel like you have a closer connection towards a higher power. You do, because you have more intuition. You're more intuitive. You're more in tune with yourself. You're doing the healing work to heal yourself and stuff like that. You spend all this time with yourself, but it's like you're alone, but you're never lonely, because it's like a certain energy, or like there's like a higher power that's with you. Like, you can't physically see it, of course, but and you are still gonna feel alone, but you don't feel lonely, if that makes sense. This is why, like, um, I do feel like the universe and God, I don't respect them at all. I really don't, but I'm pretty sure they also played a role in me overcoming obstacles, because yes, I've taken action, I've done it myself, but I feel like when it comes to inner strength and that inner voice in my mind to not give up in life, I feel like that did came from a higher power, I believe, or my ancestors. I don't know who it is, but from a higher power, definitely stepped in and was able to help me get through a lot of bullshit that they put me through, pretty much. So, but yeah, but human beings, I don't. Again, I'm not saying I'm perfect, but I'm just gonna talk about how I view people. I don't. I view people. They're very dangerous, and just because I'm saying those things, I'm not paranoid. I'm not like. I'm not like I said, I'm not standoffish. I'm not mean or anything like that. I'm not closed off at all. But I definitely do have a guard with a lot of people, because I've seen people's shadow sides, and I've seen all the crazy shit that they're capable of doing. And that's the thing with Scorpio placements as well, because I have a lot of Scorpio placements. People will project their bullshit onto me, and their shadow side, but me as a Scorpio, I could also see people's shadow side as well too. Um, yeah, so I don't know, man. So, and again, in this video, I'm not saying I'm perfect, because I haven't talked about the bad traits I have. I haven't talked about the bad traits I have. I have bad traits that I haven't talked about in this video. So don't think, if you're watching this video, don't think that I'm just talking shit to people and I'm like an angel. No, this video is only specifically about the things I don't like about people, pretty much. I also have negative traits and stuff like that, but obviously I'm not a bad person or anything. I feel like anything, I feel like I do try my best, because I do a lot of healing work, and I do become self-aware. I do try my best to not harm people, because I do believe in karma. But not only that, but I feel like morally, I just don't like harming people. I don't like hurting people. It's not in my heart to do that. It's really not. I like to respect people. I like to treat people with kindness and stuff like that. Um, but yeah, yeah, this is I don't I view people as, they're very dangerous, and people are very conditional. Human beings are very conditional. God and the universe, they're not conditional. They are very they're very unconditional. which I hope they are, but that's what people say at least. So that's why I'm saying it. But as far as human beings, a lot of people are very conditional and they like to project their trauma onto you. And if you're not making them happy in some way, then they're not gonna like you. And I feel like I'm aware of what I could bring to the table. I'm aware of my traits and my good habits and the things I bring to people's lives. But I feel like a lot of people in this world can't do the same to me. But because I'm still here, because I'm still in this planet, because I haven't given up, is because I'm aware of my worth and I am aware of how strong I am. But when it comes to people being in my life, I feel like they don't meet up to my standards or my expectations. And I'm not expecting a lot. I just feel like I give more to people compared to what people give to me. Now, I generally do feel like because the people, most people on this planet, they're not capable of giving the same type of love that I give to people. And I do believe that. Um, so, and people are very judgmental, man. Like, people like to gossip, people like to talk shit behind their back, and that shit makes me uncomfortable, man. Like, people are very two-faced, very fake. It's kind of scary in a way, but and I know why they do that is because of their upbringing, because of their belief systems that was forced upon them, and because a lot of people they don't have an open heart chakra. A lot of people's heart chakras are blocked and closed off because of the society and because of their upbringing. So that's why people like to gossip towards other people. They like to talk down on other people. They like to betray other people and stuff like that. So yeah, human beings are very conditional. Most human beings don't want to do the healing work because their bad habits isn't affecting their life. That's why. The reason why I'm able to be this self-aware and have the information and to be morally right, not morally right, but like to have morals and stuff like that, is because I had no choice but to do the healing work. This shit was forced upon me because I had habits that were affecting my life, like bad habits. But other people, most people, when they have bad habits, it doesn't affect their life. But with me, God put me in a situation to where if I have a lot of bad habits, it's just gonna affect me, and it makes sense too and it's not just me, obviously other people as well too. But I'm talking about me, but um, it makes sense because if I don't have good habits, then no one's gonna have my back. I don't have a family, basically. I don't have other close connections. People know me, and I know people, and we're all cool, but I don't. They're not in my circle, pretty much. So it's really hard to explain because I feel like most people can't relate to what the fuck I'm talking about. But basically, human beings are very conditional, and that's all I gotta say. Have a good one. Peace.